Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Car Mechanics Simulator. Today, going to be giving the Pontiac an engine. We've also had a new DLC come out, the Plymouth DLC, that adds some very, very cool Plymouths, which is always, I'm always a fan of muscle cars, so I like to see them, some different engines. Also adds a speed track. Pretty helpful when I am midway through building a drag car. I also fixed the front wheels. Thank you for the various suggestions regarding how to fix these and how to get the tyres working better, essentially. We have got slightly larger rims on the front. They're a little bit wider tyres than perhaps I would ideally like, but I think overall they kind of work. I think overall it has the effect that I want it to have on the car. So there we go. That is kind of the aesthetics done on this vehicle to an extent. I've got to finish the interior and whatnot, but yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later. The engine, of course, we have got the V8 overhead valve. This is a supercharged engine. I believe it is the first time we will be building a performance-ified supercharged engine. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, this isn't going to be the most crazy powerful V8 that there is in existence, but it should be pretty damn good. Fingers crossed, at least. I don't think I got an oil filter, did I? No. I went through and bought a fair few parts for all of this in the hope that we can just kind of race through this all and get the engine up and running. I will probably have forgotten some bits and pieces. However, as usual, have done my best. Now, with these with kind of the performance parts on this, because, well, it's a V8, you know, we've got 8 pistons to go in. They might only be adding 1% each, but it'll hopefully, fingers crossed at least, be a decent amount. Overall, in this, that's what we're going for. That it's going to add up to a decent amount. I don't know if we're going to get, I don't think we're going to get 1,000 horsepower out of this one. What did this supercharged, because the last time we built a supercharged engine was the Ford, was the hot rod. I can't remember how much power that got out of it. I think they were about 500 horsepower from standard. Now, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to quite get 100% increase on the power out of this. So yeah, I think we will be a little bit down on the 1,000 horsepower mark. But it should be it should be pretty damn fast. Whether it's going to be controllable or not is a whole nother matter. Vehicles on this game are notorious for not being the easiest things to drive when you start getting past the 400-500 horsepower mark. So 800, let's say, for the sake of argument, 800 horsepower going through our Pontiac might not be particularly safe, but we shall see. Engine heads either side, 9% each for the engine heads in terms of performance, which is good. I know the carburetors, we've got 2 of them on here, that'll add a fair amount. Now, we can't, I don't think, have a performance supercharger intake manifold. We have performance intake manifolds for other styles. I actually did manage to repair the supercharger. I'm trying to figure out how it all works on these. Maybe, I don't know, wait, will we have, as I say, we will have carburetors on this. 12% each for the carburetors. That's not bad at all. Combine that with the engine heads, and that is bloody good going. Right, lovely shiny carburetors. I didn't get the filters because I wasn't sure. I should have remembered, but I didn't remember the bits that were needed for this engine. We only need 2 of them. I do remember searching many times through the junkyard to try and find one of these for the Ford Hot Rod. It is sadly now long gone. Air scoop, and that's the top of that engine done. It looks a fantastic looking engine. I love the supercharged. It's a shame that we can't have all of the shiny bits around here. It is a shame that we can't have a fuller complement of shiny on this engine. I forgot to buy clips, but that is the way that it goes sometimes. Right, valve push rods. I have bought all of these. I forgot the bearings because of course. It wouldn't be a FailRace video if I didn't forget something very important. I did buy the oil pan, but forgot about the bearings. I don't think I had any saved. Certainly if we did, it wasn't going to be very many. And many rocker arms to go in here as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any of these hanging around. It would be a good idea to kind of stockpile these sort of parts, but yeah, I never think about it at the right time. And there is a stockpile that you can use However, it kind of just fills up with junk. I don't think I've used it past the kind of like first time playing the game. So it kind of just, yeah, fills up with, filled up with junk, and I'm just too lazy to go and sort it all out, basically. We could have a shiny exhaust on here. It's going to be a real mismatched engine, unfortunately, because we're going to have the odd bit of shiny with the odd bit of matte, essentially. Oh, we have so many spark plugs. Well, we will not want for spark plugs. We will not want for spark plugs at all. But there's going to be some customer like jobs that'll come in which I can do without having to buy a single part. So I'm just going to have so many bits hanging around. I've got stacks of flywheel. We could almost do an entire gearbox. Yeah, I think we could do an almost entire gearbox job without having to buy anything, because we've got so many bits hanging around from previous builds. I didn't buy a release bearing, but thankfully we have those hanging around anyway. Right. So we need a supercharged... Oh, we need to do the other side as well. Like I say, we need the supercharger pulley on the front, which we don't have, which the car didn't come with, so we will need to buy that. Oh, bugger, instinct. Instinct got the better of me with replacing normal spark plugs. I wonder if the customer jobs, whether they accept performance parts. Like if somebody comes in with a normal vehicle, if you go and then... like performanceify their car, whether that'll accept. There's no reason to do it from a game point of view, because you will just end up you'll just spend more money on it. So there wouldn't necessarily be a reason. It could just be quite funny. Some little old lady brings in the basic hatchback, and then you completely strip out the engine and give it back with like 300 more horsepower than it came in. That could be quite an entertaining thing to mess around with the game on. It'd be kind of fun if some of the jobs were like improve the performance of a car. Again, kind of making the most of the aspects that the game has, rather than just, you sticking performance parts on your own cars. If you've got different types of job, rather than just find faults, repair faults, and yeah, you put on, try and increase the horsepower by a certain amount for a vehicle, and you can choose which way you want to go about increasing the performance of, or that then brings in lots of ideas of how you could have fun with that in terms of engine swaps. And if only we had proper engine swaps. I'm still holding out that we will at some point get proper full-on engine swaps as a thing for this game, because that would be really, really cool. I still want to stick this engine into something that it really shouldn't have gone in, just for the fun, basically. Right, we need a supercharger water pump pulley. That's the one we need. Don't know what we need. I have got the belt for this, so I guess that should be that, and then we need another belt over here. Did I buy this one? I did buy this one. Fantastic, and I got the radiator fan ready. I was ready for that one. Okay, engine. It is a fantastic engine. It is a work of art, the supercharged V8. So let's go turn you over. Rotate that way. Well, that way works. Either way works, really. Okay. Do I have any bearings hanging around? Oh, I do have bearings. When did we have... These must be left over from something else. Ah, fantastic. Accidental parts. Oh, we're going to need one crankshaft bearing. We're not quite going to be able to get away with all of this. Damn, we will get away with all of the rod caps. It's a horror... I've probably commented on this before. It's a horrible, horrible mismatch going on in the engine. Thankfully, you never see it after this stage. We will put the oil pan on, and then you will never have to see the horrible mismatched black pistons with shiny silver rod caps. It'd be cool if you could paint the colour of parts as well, but there we go. So yeah, you could have like proper custom engines. Would be nice again, and you can also deal with horrendous mismatching of stuff as well in that way. Oh, did I buy a fuel pump? Just think again. My train of thought is derailing slightly. How can we get all of the performance out of the car? We will need a fuel pump. I didn't put the exhaust. I haven't bought the exhaust parts, sorry, so I haven't put the exhaust on, because I didn't know quite, outside of the exhaust manifolds, what we might need for the vehicle to work. Take the engine from the crane. We will need to grab the crane over here. I love how we can just carry the engine around, but we can't install it into the car. Like, we can carry the engine in our pocket, but we couldn't possibly put it into the car without having a proper crane for it. Install engine into there. Does that all work as it should? Fantastic. This is quickly becoming... Like, I loved the hot rod for what we had to go through to get it to be built and so on, and it was bonkers. but I think this might be my favourite looking car that I've ever worked on. This GTO, it is fantastic. It really does look the part. I even like it in the matte black. I think I'm going to keep it in the matte black. Now, did we actually put a fuel pump in the fuel tank? I don't think we did. Part mount. We can get to it from here. Oh, I did buy a fuel pump. Or either that or I had one hanging around. Who knows? Could be either. Quite frankly. Fuel pump is in. Car status. Okay, body condition 89%, parts 94. What have we forgotten? Oh, brake servo, battery, we need clips. Oh, we need gearbox and so on. We need clips, we need the important clip Bs. I still want performance clips. Clip B, get 2 of those buggers, and then we will finish. I think that'll be the engine then finished on the car, as far as I'm aware. Engine. Oh, well, we do need a radiator. Don't know if I have one hanging around still, or whether we repaired the one that came in the car. Clip B, perfect. Radiator C, we have 2. Excellent. You can go in there. Right, gearbox. Gearbox time. Unfortunately, there is no performance gearboxes for the car, so we will have to stick this on there. Gearbox. Ah, we have 2 of these hanging around as well. We'll need a starter motor. Ah, so the exhaust. Okay, that's where the exhaust go. Exhaust pipe of V8 overhead valve C. Now, do we get exhaust parts for this? I don't think so. Front exhaust, V8 overhead valve, no. We only have manifolds and yeah, we don't have that section, so we can't have a performance exhaust on this. So we're going to have to go and just grab it from the main shop. Overhead valve C. Was it overhead valve C? Exhaust pipe V8. Ah, no, it's V8 overhead valve and then C. V8 overhead valve. And then we'll just go search down for exhaust. Front exhaust pipe, V8 overhead valve C, yeah. We'll get those 2, because I think that's the only things that it can be. Yeah, oh, actually did have 1, typical. Well done, me. That can go in there. We need V8 starter, which I wasn't expecting us to have. Starter. There we go. Stick that on the car. Drive line. Do we... Ooh, careful. Come back, come back. This way, please. Thank you. And, we do need rear mufflers on the exhausts. We'll see how that works. Yeah, it's interesting way we've got the exhaust working on this car. Again, bearing in mind it's a mod, and they've tried to fit the exhausts as best as possible onto this. We've got side exits here. Didn't realise there was potential for more on this. Of course, it's the one rear muffler that we don't have a modified version of. Rear muffler D. We need 2 of those. Yeah, shame we don't have performance versions of this kind of... Oh, apparently they were fixed up. I wasn't expecting those to be something that were fixed up, were fixable. So there we go. Added bonus in all of that. Drop the car down. Brake servo, battery. There is one on charge. Ugh. Caught on a toolbox, of course we are. Managed to get caught on most of the stuff in my workshop, I'll be honest. It's not the best. We're not in the engine bay. We're on suspension. That would explain why. Brake servo. We have those hanging around now. This is the difficult bit. How on earth do we get to that battery? If we maybe take off the fence, that will work. But oops, took everything off. But it is going to work at least. No, wait, normal mode. We need to go maybe through here. It's really, really difficult to get the battery. It's very, very difficult to get the battery out of the car, but it was much easier when there was stuff to click on. Now I don't actually know how... Aha, there it is. Yeah, it's a real pain in the arse to get the battery on in this. It's the only downside. This is absolutely incredible mod, this, but it is a bit of a faff to get the battery into place. So there we go. Right, now we're going to put everything back on. Whoops. Whoops indeed. Trunk with the crazy wing on the back. Now we're just going to go through with getting all the clear windows again for it. Also, thank you to people telling me. I didn't realise I had 2 GTO mods installed. That's why we had some confusion over the parts for the cars, the bits that didn't work. I thought I only had this year GTO. There is oh, back to no, not back to there. I want to go back to normal mode. There we go. Yeah, I didn't realise I had 2 different GTOs installed, so that's why we couldn't build a gasser. We might have to have a go with the gasser at some point further down the line, but yeah, sadly, that's why we were going to have no gasser with this one. Windows, front window. Done, I think. Okay, piston rings. Well, we'll ignore those anyway. You can test them as a compression test. We don't need to worry about that. Ooh, tail lights, of course. Let's get those put back on the car. Right, let's not have to take the entire body off again. That would be helpful. Done. Close the bonnet on that. Now we can move you to the garage entrance part. The car will sit over there quite nicely. Now we can go do the other bits that we need to do in here. Rear right fender. We can have roll cage or we can have a rear seat, of course. We're going to go for a roll cage in here. There we go. Looks the part. That is for sure. Normal mode. I think we've just got number plates to do, and then we are good to go. There isn't a passenger seat, as far as I'm aware, in this car. Do I have any plates hanging around? I have a Polish plate or a I have a Polish plate on the front, and we'll have a California plate on the actually probably don't even so we don't need one. It won't actually matter because oh no, that's where it goes. Okay, never mind. You can only just about see it underneath all of the parachutes and so on. Right, that is it. 100% all round for the GTO drag car. Let's go put some oil in it, of course. Don't want to go and test it without that. Then we will find out how much power we've got. As I said, I'm hoping for getting on 800-ish horsepower out of this. Not quite going to be 1,000, I don't expect. But 800-ish horsepower would be very nice indeed. What did it start with? Yeah, so it starts with 500. We're not quite going to double that, but let's go and find out what it can do. Dyno, that's where we want to go. I can never remember if I've left cars or where I've left cars around the place. So there isn't anything in the dyno room. That's good. Oh, that's a slow opening door in comparison to the paint shop booth that tries to kill you. Yes, we want to proceed with the dyno. Come on, Pontiac. Don't let me down. Give us some crazy big power figures. It's not the... Ooh! I like the power figures. For 900 horsepower, I'll be honest, it's not exactly the noisiest of cars. However, 903 horsepower from our Pontiac. 1,679 Newton meters of torque. I don't know what that is in the foot, pounds, foot, whichever way around it goes. However, much torque, much power. It is quite the beast. It is quite the beast indeed. I'm going to stick it in the paint shop just to see if there are any liveries that can be applied to it out of curiosity. I don't actually want to change it from the matte black because I like it in that colour. We do not have any specific liveries that can be applied to it, so nah. We will leave it in the black. We'll move you back into the garage, I think. Right, now it's time to go give it a drive. Time to test out the speed track and see what this vehicle is capable of. So here we are at the drag strip. I think once I blip the throttle, it will set the timer off here for us to go racing. Don't know what we're going to see in terms of grip from this car. It might be quite skiddy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sure enough, we're in the wrong lane. Whoa, there is nothing in terms of traction. Nothing whatsoever in terms of traction in all of this. It's mad. Oh, it runs out of gears as well. No! We are out of gears at 271 kilometers an hour. I think this kind of just goes, doesn't it? It's literally just a... How far does it go? Okay, it goes to wherever there is. 0 to 100, which it is all in kilometers here, isn't it? Yeah, so 0 to 100, which is essentially the 0 to 60 time, 2.3 seconds. But that was with me floundering around, really struggling for any sort of control in this car. 2.3 seconds. That is mad from the Pontiac. Let's see if we can go one better than that. Oh, it wasn't quite as good at the start. The control is not there for the speed that this car has. We got 2.4 this time out. It just is not physically drivable enough for the amount of power. There we go. It's... Oh, we're not going to be able to do that very well, are we? No. 2.3 is still the time to beat. We'll have another try at this. It's a bit crazy. In fact, I say it's a bit crazy. It's very, very crazy. It's a shame that the gear ratios... It's a shame that the gear ratios... We don't have manual gearbox, or we don't have customizable gearboxes to give cars like this more... Because this could easily... I mean, we are not stressed at all getting to 200 kilometers an hour. It could easily push past 300. It would probably do about 200 and who knows however many hundreds of miles an hour. It could be doing 230 maybe. With the ease at which it is getting up to that 270 kilometers, it probably could. However, yeah, we haven't got the gearbox for that, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. It's 2.3 second time to 60 miles an hour is very, very fast. Shall we go see if I can keep control of it around an actual racetrack? I'm going to hazard a guess at probably not. So, we have headed out to the test track here, bearing in mind that the fastest lap done around here is a 57-second lap, completed by the Peugeot 205, in fact. Can we get under a minute with the Pontiac is the question. I mean, it's going to have the acceleration, it's going to have the straight line speed, it's whether it's got the control, whether it can stop spinning its wheels for long enough to actually make it quickly around a lap here. They are the important questions. We don't have too much in the way of body roll, which is nice. There does also seem to be plenty of grip through these corners. You can kind of throw the car about a fair bit, and it's actually carrying decent enough speed through here. But it kind of feels like always the character in the car is leaning around more than the car itself. It's nice to have a vehicle though with half decently stiff suspension. Where we're going to have issues, where we're going to have very big problems in all of this is coming down towards the first corner here, because it's going to be going very, very fast. I'm going to jump on the brakes, and I'm fully expecting the car to just plough left like everything else does. Oh no, ploughed right a little bit. Oh, brakes are pretty solid. Brakes are pretty damn good on this. I have to say, for a 900 horsepower car on this game, this is a lot more drivable than I expected it to be when it comes to this circuit. A lot of them have been horrendous, and this is not. This is not at all. Around these next few corners. Yeah, I'm being very, very careful. I think I get to full throttle once around this lap, because I just daren't risk it anywhere else. I just don't have the confidence in the rear tyres. Oh, that was a little bit of a track limits extending. Not intentional, but very difficult with vehicles on this game to have much semblance of control. It is going to absolutely smash the lap record here. It might even do a sub 50. We run out of gears. If we didn't run out of gears, it probably could do a sub 50, and then we clonked the wall and spun. But I have no doubt this could probably do a sub 50 around here. It's a lot more controllable than I really expected it to be. It's... Ooh, hello, wall. I could probably get it to spin the wheels through every single corner if I wanted it to. There we go. We could get it very, very sideways, as you would expect. I think it was the GT40, the replica GT40 was the car that could literally spin the wheels the entire way around. Yeah, it probably could, but it has a lot more traction than that Ford did. It has a lot more control than the Ford did. Surprisingly, yeah, we don't have the crazy body roll going on from the car. It's smoking the tyres a fair bit. I would imagine that the tyres on this would not last very long around here, and you've got to be quite, you've got to be ready, you've got to be quite prepared to catch the car when it does ever so often brake sideways. But if you can manage that, then you're going to get a lot of speed out of the vehicle. There will be plenty of speed down towards the first corner, but we've got to be very, very wary under brakes here that it doesn't sort of snap around. Oh, so dodgy slowing the cars down on this game. So difficult to not have them just randomly spear off. We'll jump the track. We're going to spin on the grass. We're not going to go quicker. I'm around 50.4. It's miles faster than anything else we've seen. Runs out of gears, unfortunately. Surprisingly drivable and an absolutely fantastic... Where does this go? Fantastic looking car. What's this bit? Huh. Okay, we've found a new little... I didn't actually know there was a bit of a racetrack over there. I've been distracted. It's a shame you can't get rid of the tyre bundle and, you know, run alternate layouts if you wanted to. It's quite cool, though, have this long corner as an alternate layout rather than the chicane part, essentially what you're skipping out over there. Yeah, did not realise. I guess you got an alternate layout over here as well if you wanted to use it. Fantastic car, fantastic mod, this one. As I said last time when I was building it up from the bare chassis, this is perhaps one of the best mods I have come across on this game, and perhaps for mods for almost being game changers, brings something new to this game. It is right up there amongst the very best. So yeah, highly recommend you check this one out. That is though going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.